trolled you on my podcast once.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, we're leaving.
I'm leaving.
But I will say the next podcast I made up for it because I was like, well, it was so easy to poke fun at your earrings. It was so, and I loved your earrings. But I was watching Home Alone, and in Home Alone, the old man is like, yeah, she's got a whole drawer of earrings, the dangly ones. So I kept like referring to that when you were on.
That has to be at the beginning of the intro of the rap song.
Is your family in music or something?
They dabble.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
You don't know about her family?
No, I'm just
Oh my God. I was like, y'all are engaged. Oh, shit.
No, actually, so Aunt Barbara lives a street over. I thought we were about to pull into the same neighborhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Let's go over there after.
Let's go.
Man.
Yeah,
What's up?
let's be like, hey, we're recording a song.
So if you could just like come out of retirement.
Yeah.
Get her on the
and maybe-
strings, or what are they called? The
Steel guitar.
yes.
maybe fund our
Yeah, could you just like
program here?
do you believe in us?
Yeah.
Aunt Barbara, do you believe in me?
Do you believe in us?
We're just asking for like a $10,000 gift. Why does it
Yeah.
have to be $10,000?
And we'll be like,
I think it's the
and we'll
magic
be like,
number.
look, we've got the first line, the dangly ones.
What do you think, Aunt
What do you
Barbara? She's like, I'm in. I remember just like going over there growing up, and I would help sometimes just like, reorganize. This is just like, I would be there, and she had a big garden. She loves gardening. And I remember like, for some reason, I remember dusting her CD collection. This is such a weird memory.
You dusted her CD collection?
I don't know
That's
why.
kinda cool.
This is literally just from my memory. I haven't even said this out loud. But I remember how many Eminem CDs there were, and that's really, I love Eminem so much, and I like put it in, and that's really where I started my love. It was Aunt Barbara, so that was
the three of us are
unexpected.
definitely
She told me
rappers.
the other day that she literally asks herself at least once a day, what would Marshall Mathers do right now?
Well, no, when you're thinking about like your when you're thinking about like your past and stuff, it's like, is this too much? And it's not like, I don't think like bury it, but like if I overcome this, like Eminem would be so disappointed if I was sitting here making excuses for myself right now.
I was like, what? Like, I think
That's
you're the
incredible.
only person.
I have
that's
three
why I love her.
people I
though,
would be
you know?
like starstruck over, and he's definitely one of those people. But I couldn't let him know. He's too cool. I
know two people
whatever,
that are like
whatever.
that she has a hall pass for. Two people she has a hall pass for. Eminem's one of them,
Well,
and
okay.
Jack Black's the other. I don't know who this third guy is though.
Paul McCartney.
I don't know if I could do.
I'm obsessed with your three. That's your
Those are my
three.
three.
Paul McCartney, Jack Black. You'd want to hit that?
I didn't know it was hall pass. I just said starstruck.
Oh, okay.
I say
Starstruck.
Jack
But
Black
hey,
just because
you
like
know, who
so.
am I?
That's kind
I'll
of
do anything twice.
That was a big twice. Wait, I said. Oh,
A little.
I think it's-
Wait, I need to circle back to Eminem still. I need to go back. I too am obsessed with Eminem.
Why are we
And
upset?
I went to the Detroit Lions game just recently when they lost. Marshall was there, and I took out binoculars. I found him
You did?
in the whole. How many? 76,000 people. I think it holds.
Exactly, probably.
76,422. I found Eminem
That's
in my.
amazing.
Where was he? That's also like a great Waldo game. You should have like taken a big wide picture, like
I
find
should've.
Eminem.
But I felt like I was being such a creep. But
It's
I don't-
Eminem. It's not creepy.
He would
care.
You're
He was
Stan.
like this to me.
I mean, he loves his creeps. He wrote a song about one.
that's
So it's like
true.
he'd probably write a song about you if you found out that you found him in a crowd with binoculars. You should tell him.
And then we should tell him that we're also going to
We're
write a
gonna
song
start.
about
Right,
him.
Maybe
we're
we
gonna,
could feature
wait,
him
we could. That's
on-
how we get
Guys.
big because we're going to just start beef with him.
Like the MGK beef. Like, what was that? Like 10
He
years
had
ago?
beef with. I mean, yeah.
Oh
well,
yeah!
Not quite.
Oh my gosh! Because it was Megan Fox in his video or
No,
something.
no,
something
no.
else.
Actually, this is funny
Oh my God,
segue.
hot.
They were definitely not together yet because I was next to MGK in a music video. We were in this old Cadillac for like hours and hours with Yellow Wolf, DJ Paul, and MGK, and it was far before anything with Megan. And we were just sitting there. Yellow Wolf has a whiskey, and we were just like sitting there filming this music video way back in the day. And it was right when Eminem did his track because MGK had said something about Haley. And
Oh,
then
right.
yeah,
That's right, yeah.
right, which you gotta
Yeah.
that his dad's got to do what
You
he's got to do.
can't-
Yeah.
And so then
Yeah, you can do
MGK did it, and it was had his track back, and it was like actually pretty good. And usually when people go in on Eminem, it's like all right, whatever.
Yeah, you can't.
But Eminem hadn't responded yet when we were sitting there getting drunk in the Cadillac. And so he was
funny
kind of really
story.
popular. I mean, he's now way more popular than then, but this was like kind of his like
Wait,
moment.
So you just were like in this
It's there.
music video.
It's
but you're also in
online.
Taylor Swift's music video?
There's a lot of music videos, and there's so many that people have not yet to find.
Stop. Can we
They're
like
their little eggs.
secretly?
Yeah.
Secretly?
Secretly.
That's definitely not a word. Secretly.
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 That's so weird.
That's so bad.
We could just secrete an Easter egg.
Secrete.
Just get it out the glands.
Get out the glands.
Glands is not a good
Express the glands right now and tell us where.
Well, I
I'll
can
tell
I
you
can
more.
give you like an exclusive
what are the
list or
music
something. I've
video?
got to figure it out. I need to add things to my resume that I've just not been able to find. There's I mean, we're in Nashville, so I'm born and raised in Nashville, and the first ever like acting thing that I ever did, I remember I finally gave in and went with the agent that my family's been with. They're like, anytime you want to do like any acting or anything, and I was just like, I don't know, and I was shy, and it was I finally was like, okay, I'll do it, and they were like, all right, cool, you're gonna be an extra in the Hannah Montana movie.
Stop.
And so that was the very first thing like that I had done that wasn't just like extra with my family, choice deck commercials and like
Wait, so
farm
is
and
your
stuff. So that was the first
I have so
thing, and
many
then both scenes got cut.
Oh shit.
That sucks.
That's like me. I was in Final Destination 3. They cut my part.
What happened?
I was just a cheerleader in the background. I didn't do it. I
But
didn't get like
still.
killed or
Yeah,
anything.
you didn't die.
There's
cool
no
to-
acting.
it's cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but I spent so many hours of my day. I still got paid, but I was like, damn it.
You can
But
add it to the
so is your
resume.
family into acting or all music?
Well, mainly music. So I'm like the baby of the family. So my mom had me at 40. I have 2 siblings or 3 siblings, but with my dad. From my mom, I have 3 siblings, but they both have a different dad. So they're 8 and 10 years older than me. And then the next youngest person in my entire, like, Mandrell side of the family is my brother and sister. And so I'm like way down there. I wasn't really around when it was all happening and whatnot. And so it's kind
What
of
was
a
happening?
weird, like the
had a
movies
TV show.
and they had TV show and they did
had,
all these
like-
things like way
Your
back in the-
parents?
my mom and her 2 sisters, the,
The
Mandrell
Mandrell
sisters.
sisters, like
so
I
it's
was
the 3 of
reading on
them.
it. Their TV show was like it still holds the records for like most viewed.
Yeah, like
TV
all these
show.
random,
Like,
but it was like
it's
I was
wild.
definitely not even thought of yet. My dad's 20 years younger than my mom, so he probably wasn't even thought of yet.
cougar. She's a cougar just like her mom.
I am. I'm older than him.
Bless.
And so, I never. You turn into your parents. You don't try to. But,
you really do.
My mom, she was on Hee Haw for a lot of years too. So they all did like a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
But I mean, so my passion would be acting if I had to choose. I mean, I've dabbled with the singing and whatnot. I guess I'm getting back into it with you guys.
There's
But the
don't have to-
passion
There's no
would
going
be
back now.
yeah. The passion would be
You already committed.
acting if I had to choose.
Now, some people go on The Bachelor thinking that maybe an acting career could spike out a bit. Did you think that?
I
Or were you
definitely did
maybe
not.
My name could get out there in that way.
So here's the thing. I love The Bachelor.
You do.
And yours was the very first season that I started on. And it was
You might have told me this.
She
but
actually
I
knows
have
you.
not.
She-
I have
okay.
not. I'm
yeah.
actually been watching you for a long time.
So like she's been looking at you through binoculars, kind of, like finding
Oh my
you.
god.
So hi.
Oh my god.
Secretly.
Way to
But
circle
no,
back.
so my best friend, she, long story short, she had a lot of siblings. Her dad's pastor, and she loved The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and she wanted to watch it, but wasn't allowed in the house, even though I think she was 18 or 17 or something. So she would come over to my
Mama
place.
said bachelors from the devil.
Right. And so
Yeah.
she would come over to my place and be like, hey, can I watch this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What is this? Like, this is okay. Once you get past, what
Right.
is this
Yeah.
craziness?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Then, I'm one of those, like, one of the boyfriends that's like, oh, this is stupid. Oh, what is she doing over there? Like,
Yeah.
well, what if she's going to break
A
up with
single
her? She
tear
let her.
just, like,
Yeah,
comes out at the
exactly.
end.
That
You're
was
like,
me. I was like the boyfriend of that
Yeah.
situation. And then, so that really started with your season. And so
way.
it was really cool for me because then I started doing like the brackets and I would have friends over weekly. And it was like, I never had like friends over like in that kind of way. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm the baby of the family and there wasn't really, we didn't watch like sports or anything like
Yeah.
that. And so it was really cool. And then I got my family from different states and my mom and my sister and all these friends. And I would do like
Started a whole
charcuterie
betting
board,
ring.
like
It
a
was
whole
crazy.
underground.
Obsessed. Yeah, was this street legal?
No, we actually
yeah.
can we cut this whole
can't
part from the podcast
really,
actually?
for
'Cause
legal reasons.
Yeah.
No, but it was really cool, and so that's why like just like the whole Bachelor and Bachelorette, like the whole franchise meant so much to me because it was just like kind of like
You
community.
didn't even know, but you were manifesting it.
Well, this is also, we're going to then circle around to the finale of Rachel and Gabby's season.
Yeah.
So they announced the 5 girls early on the finale for Zach's season, and you were there.
Oh, wait, I was there.
You were there.
Oh, I do remember you because I remember it being like a Nashville girl.
Okay, good.
Oh, I talked to you after, didn't I?
Nope.
Oh, just kidding.
But it was your you were dreaming.
Yes,
probably.
yeah, that was the dream.
She wanted to meet you just as badly as you wanted to meet her.
No. I need you guys to hear how I've not even said this out loud or to you or anything. So I walk out and I was like the last. No, I wasn't the last. I was the last of the 5 girls, and they were like from Nashville. And then I see you, like you're the first person. I'm like, oh, okay, Zach's the Bachelor. No, I'm just kidding. I did care, but I was like, okay, but Kaitlyn Bristowe's in the audience, and I make eye contact with you, and you're like, you had your phone out, and I remember begging producers afterwards. I was like, can you guys just like see what Kaitlyn Bristowe was tweeting? So I'm like, does she hate me? And so I made eye contact with you though, and I winked because I'm like Nashville, and I was like, I never met you, and I had no connections.
I saw it, right?
I thought you were probably tweeting, making fun of me, is why I was scared.
No.
But no. So then you didn't acknowledge it. So then next time I did it again. I think I did it 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, they are going to put this in.
It's like she has a nervous kid. I really am excited about this.
But it was like, I was just completely like, Jesse, I was like, I don't know what's going on except.
Imagine they just keep panning to you winking.
That's
like,
exactly how there were. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
they didn't end up. From what I have seen, I've not been able to find the wink. But hey,
thank you for finally. I see you.
Then you got your phone out, and I'm just like, she's making fun of me so hard right now.
Like, this girl won't stop winking.
I'm making fun of me right now. I don't blame her.
I was about to be like, I don't make fun of anyone on The Bachelor.
Except Dangly over there.
Yeah, but then I realized
Dangle
why.
boy.
Somebody told me it was like, well, you tell me why. Tell me how the earrings, I'm sure you've talked about this a lot, but I want to hear it because I think, from what I heard, it's a cool story.
Yeah, so originally I was in the military.
Yeah.
In the military, you got to have short hair and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
make fun of that.
Yeah, make fun of that. I served the country. No, I was kidding.
Thank you for your service.
Are you gonna think? Yeah, but no. So it was like I got out, and then I went to Pride. My sister lives in San Fran, so we went to Pride together in San Fran. And her one of her friends had clip-on earrings, and so I put the clip-on earrings in. I'm just like, I'm out there. I'm like, this kind of actually looked kind of good. And like growing up, my dad always had his ears pierced, but he always told me I had too small of lobes to really.
I'm like checking out your lobes. I'm like, those are great lobes.
Thank you.
Yeah, great lobes.
In your face, Dad.
I love you. I love you.
Hey, I love you too.
I'm like trying to get in. I'm like, and I love you.
And we love you. You know I love you.
Yeah,
I loved you first.
And now the
Bye,
feeling is
babe.
mutual.
But
But I
yeah.
love that because you probably felt so like you had to look a certain way, and now you get to express yourself in other ways.
Yeah, and then it just became this thing where I was like, I got them, and then I went on a trip to Mexico, and I saw like feather earrings someone was wearing. I was like, that looks so cool, and so I ended up buying feather earrings, and then it was just downhill from there. And I
I
just
feel so bad that I made fun of them.
no, don't feel bad. It's honestly like
Well, you were also getting like, do you believe in people getting a bad edit, or did they just show things that
Good question.
it was just like a one-dimensional character of yourself that made you look bad?
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad edit. I think everyone takes people different ways. And so I think that the way that they go with the edit is based on how the other people in the house are kind of taking you. And so it's like, for me, it's like, that's how those other guys were looking at me as the villain. Like I was the boogeyman that they were afraid of.
And they
at
always
night.
have to have one.
I had never seen the show before. Like, so for me, like going on the show was like my friends, like I used to live with like in a house full of like, there was like 3 or 4 girls I used to live with in Santa Barbara. And they used to watch it like religiously Monday night.
Yeah.
And so one night they were like, oh, we're going to sign you up. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I went to work. And it was like months later, all of a sudden I got a random phone call and they're like, hey, like, this is so-and-so from the Bachelorette. Like, we were wondering if you want to come on the season, if you would like to meet with us and come on our season. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, so then it was just within a couple weeks, I ended up on Charity's season. So.
I love that you went in without knowing.
Yeah. And I mean,
That's an interesting way to go in, and it's probably better.
And that's how I kind of take life is it's
Yeah.
like, like take it as it comes and like explore the new experiences that you have. And so I was happy that, I ended up with the best prize you could possibly win. And so,
cute.
it's pretty awesome. It's like definitely blessed, but
Yeah. You two just seem like I hung out with you the night of
that was so much. You were wild.
I was on fire that night.
You were killing it that night.
Somebody did end up taking me home. Not like that, but
no,
one of the producers were like, "Do you want me to walk you home?" I was like, "Yes." I was on fire.
It's hard to find your room there.
It is hard to find
honestly,
your room there.
Really,
even completely sober, I could not find that room. I would walk in circles.
actually, I remember now, like on our way back that night, you kept going the wrong way. I'm like, no, see, I know where I'm going. And it was like the one time I was actually able to get us back.
Yeah, and we're walking, and I just wanted to get back to the room as fast as possible because someone here might have taken some of the flower arrangements from the wedding.
Did you?
So
Okay.
she was. I'm gonna bust her out right now. So she's like, these flowers are so beautiful. I need to shoot
minty
them.
white.
I know it's just, we were
And I'm like,
we had
babe,
some drinks and stuff, and I'm just walking around. I'm like, I brought these with me. They're mine. These aren't what you think.
And I kept telling her, I was like, babe, like we have to, because we were about to drive back because that like we left like the very next day to go back and drive here. And I was like, we have to.
Like he was moving.
Like,
that was the move.
Oh, that was the move.
I was like, we have to take these flowers like across country. Like,
he had a full truck of all of his things.
Yeah, this is not gonna work.
She's like, it'll fit. It'll be fine. And then now we have a bag of flowers that have turned into like manure or whatever in our front yard.
That was the bottom. You don't understand. That's the part that was green that holds
You really
the water.
made them? You took them the whole way?
It's mulch. We have a bag of mulch.
No. That was the bottom
She's
part
got a
with
green
the
thumb.
foam.
She's a green thumb
Okay,
queen.
so
She's
here's
gonna
the
bring it
thing.
back to life.
Segueing, I want to try the rituals.
We've already had a couple
Barbara loves
seances for
gardening.
these
She's gonna help
flowers.
me. No, so this is why. First of all, I hoard things.
Okay, fair enough.
We have realized now in therapy that maybe I'm learning now to express with words instead of holding on to experiences with things. That it's fine. I really, the flowers were nice.
Wait, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. And but no, here's the thing. So yeah, we've been. We don't have too much to say really, but there is, stay tuned for Earring Line coming out, and so we've been dabbling, dangling and dabbling in like all things that. So like even what I've made here, which are awful ones, I would not get a close up shot. So these actually have the roses from So these have roses from my season, and like I didn't get many, but as you know, they replenish and make them fresh. So I got more than just the two.
Yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, I've been like drying them out and then making like jewelry and stuff.
She actually, so the cutest thing. So our first date, she actually took me skeet shooting. So first of all.
What shooting?
You never been skeet shooting?
Oh, we're going.
Oh, have you ever shot a shotgun?
No, I'm Canadian.
We're gonna
okay, but look, this is like sport. This is sporting clay. It's like Look, we're going. It's gonna be so much fun.
Okay. It's like so basically you go and they like shoot the clay darts in the sky and then you have to like pull and you shoot the darts.
Yes. Okay.
Not like hunting or anything like that.
Yes, I know exactly what that is now. I didn't know that was the name.
So our first date, she actually took me there before we went to the Tenacious D concert. She took me to go skeet shooting. She collected like the beads and the shotgun shells.
Well, you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, foraging.
She's collecting
leaves.
And I was like, this girl's so weird, but it's awesome. And,
we love weird.
And she actually made me earrings out of like the shotgun shells and stuff like that. So like, it's cute. Yeah.
Wait, I suck. I could never I'm like online.
I couldn't
gift
tell
card.
them I liked them, but I could make them these things.
Yeah.
I would be like, what do you like? Coffee? Starbucks gift card.
Do you
like that's how good I am at giving gifts.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life is a journey, as we know, full of ups and downs, good, not so good days. It's kind of about navigating the highs and the lows for me personally, finding balance, embracing growth along the way. And that's why I'm always a strong advocate for therapy. It's been absolutely transformative for me, providing invaluable support in navigating life's twists and turns, whether it's dealing with challenges at work, in friendships, or with significant others. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have any major issues, but therapy isn't just for crisis moments. It's a tool for personal development and resilience in facing life's everyday hurdles. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for the one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/find today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/find.
Wait, we need timeline receipts. I'm sure you've talked about this before, but maybe I know we have listeners here that haven't heard the story, because when I put a little question box up, everyone was like, how did they meet? When? Take us back to the beginning.
All right. We'll run through it.
I'm glad you're in,
so
we got to talk about you're in therapy too, together?
Yeah, so we're actually
obsessed.
so the show actually does relationship counseling,
Good.
and they hooked us up with. So we haven't set up our first counseling session for that yet, but done individual counseling.
I'm
but
so happy to hear they're doing that. They didn't do that back in my day.
No, yeah,
Well, we did ask.
Yeah, I mean, we reached out because it was like, I mean, we've had so many changes. I mean,
Yeah.
like you're dating long distance, and
Yep.
then you're moving in together, and then you got a kiddo now,
Yeah.
and so it's like, I mean,
He almost died on a boat, and then
Yeah.
big
Take us
things.
to the beginning.
okay,
Yep.
so
When did this happen?
We'll try and run through it
Because you just
it
said you
is
were watching
so much.
Paradise together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we were together
so-
before that.
Was that hard to watch? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, okay.
That's why we're in therapy. Got it.
Yeah. No.
I thought this was therapy.
This is definitely grape therapy.
This is why we're here, right?
This is great. But yeah, no, so we met because she commented. So she commented on a post I had.
Okay.
I liked the post. I didn't respond to her comment. And
Okay.
so she kind of, afterwards, she told me she was a little salty about that. But
Yeah.
I made up for it because I ended up DMing her because she posted like a story of her and Blakely, Blakely like cutting hair of a Barbie. And at first I thought it was Blakely's hair that she was
daughter.
cutting. And I was like, did you just let her cut her own hair? Because like growing up, my sister let one of her friends cut her hair. And I'll never forget how mad like my mom was.
My
Like,
mom was so mad over that. Yeah.
oh yeah, it was like my sister was like half bald. It was it was the worst haircut I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of where my head
Shout
was. Yeah, shout out, Paige. Screw you for messing my sister's hair up. But no, it's all good. All love.
No, I promise I'm not mad.
I'm not mad, and neither is she. She loves you too. But yeah, no. So it was funny because I reached out over that, and then kind of like just like, hey, like what's going on, and
Yeah.
we started DMing from there. And
It was
then,
strategic though,
And when
which
was
is
this?
nice because it was like he wanted to let me know that hey, I know you got a kid and that's fine.
Yeah.
We can still chat,
That's
which was really
nice.
sweet.
Yeah, that is
but
sweet.
this was back in July, so it was like right after I got back from Paradise. I was
Okay.
home for like, and she commented on a post, and like I didn't respond at first because like I had just gotten done.
Yeah,
with
it's a lot. It's a
Paradise. And so
whirlwind.
it was like in my mind, I was like, I was going to counseling for like, I was
Yeah.
seeing a counselor that was talking about relationship health and like how to go about having a healthy relationship
Mm-hmm.
and what to really build on in order to have a healthy relationship. And so
Share
I
it
would.
with the class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Please.
yeah, I realized the biggest thing I had was contempt, actually.
Mm.
And it was just like thinking that you know something better. And a lot of it came
Mm.
from my lack of like communicating and really like asking where other people were coming from and just thinking that I was having the thoughts and no one else was having the thoughts that I was having, And so
We
it was
talked
more,
about that on our first phone call.
yeah. And it was based out of like a lot of insecurity in myself of just being like, I have these thoughts aren't normal. No one else is having these thoughts.
Yeah.
And so I shouldn't say anything. And it kind of made me feel as though I was, to a degree, it made me feel like I was better like than other people because
I get that.
I was in my head saying,
Yeah.
well, no one else feels this way. No one else is thinking this way. I'm different. I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had to learn that wasn't the case. And through talking about that and talking to other people and seeing where they're coming from, what thoughts they're having, you realize that you guys are both having very similar thoughts. And so
Right.
you're not better. And so
I just say what I'm thinking out loud while we find out together what's popping in my head.
that's probably the
I don't
best
want
thing.
to. Yeah, I don't want to think about what I'm saying. I just want to find out.
And it's actually amazing because she does just say it. And
Yeah.
so the thoughts I'm having, she'll just say it. And I'm like, I think that too. Like,
You're like, we finish each other's sandwiches.
yeah. And so I learned that
I wonder
from
have you watched
counseling.
that?
I have.
Oh,
Frozen.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering.
you're
So I was
just
like,
really-
I watched it.
you're
That's
just
3
really
million
letting it
times.
gloss over.
Don't
but
even let
okay.
me get going.
Just kidding. Sorry, babe.
Yeah,
Go.
don't even let me get going. I'll start singing.
I just
right
already
here, right
know.
now.
I'm
I
content
want
on
more
my
therapy.
note.
Right. But so we ended up meeting up after that. So like she gave me her number, and then we found out that she was going to see Tenacious D, and me and her both like Tenacious D, and she found
Yeah.
out because I said something about Tenacious D.
Did you
And-
just? Yeah. Did you just? Did we just become best friends?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go.
It was pretty amazing. And so
Wow.
I flew out the next week on Spirit Airline. Almost died. It was amazing.
Oh shit. Yeah. Well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a last minute
First was
ticket.
coming to see you. I'm just
It was a last minute ticket, so it was like I saw Spirit Airlines $130 versus like $600.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I
Called
die,
in
I
sick
die.
to
You know,
work.
whatever.
Wow.
So I called in sick to work that weekend, came out, and then we just hit it off.
Because I had the tickets. I was like, okay, if you're a true fan, then come on.
And was this while the Paradise was airing?
Not
So
at
this
all.
was still
way
before, yeah.
So were you guys getting recognized out together?
He came to Nashville, and I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, well, I don't want to awkwardly meet you, like picking you up in the car and side hug. So I am going to come inside, but it's Nashville, and like people get recognized, and I don't want to get in trouble,
Yeah.
and we don't want to ruin like spoilers and
Right.
stuff. So I'm going to come inside, so it's not awkward, but we're gonna be really like low key.
Yeah.
And so I showed up with a disguise of mustache and these big glasses and a huge rose that's like as tall as me and stuff.
It was a 6 foot tall rose.
And
I'm
so
just like,
we're gonna be really discreet.
I was like, don't set it. Yeah, but it was like he probably was. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be
So I was
discreet,
thinking, she was gonna be in a hoodie, like in the corner or something like that. But no, she came out, and I was just like, as soon as I saw her, I was like, I freaking love this girl. Like, and
and that's when I knew.
Honestly, it was.
That is so funny.
It was crazy. Like later that day, we had a talk, and it was.
We kissed right there.
Yeah. Well, she curved me at first, but
with the mustache on.
No, yeah, it was.
that was later.
We're into some Frankie stuff.
Wow.
Found out that from counseling too. You know what I'm saying? Counseling's where you find your kinks. So
It's
people
true.
that are against counseling, you should really get into it.
You
'cause
don't be a
it's-
prude.
into it.
Go to counseling.
Yeah, you can. It's a safe place there. Yeah.
But yeah, so we just, it was amazing. That day we ended up talking, and like the biggest thing was with long distance is you don't want anything to be up in the air or questions. So it's like I knew that if we really hit it off this trip, that it was like I wanted to make sure that we had to talk about that I wasn't gonna like see anybody else. Like I wanted to let her know I was exclusively gonna be just seeing her, because if you go back home, you don't know what they're doing.
Messy.
You're not spending time together, and then there's so much insecurities that build off of that. And so
accidentally mess it up.
yeah, and so I didn't want to mess up a good thing. And honestly, from that moment, I was like, this is a good thing. And so that later that day, we ended up talking, and I was like, hey, like, I want to let you know, like, I really like you, and I don't know if, how you feel, and I understand, like, if you're seeing other people, that's fine, but I just want to let you know, like, I'm not going to be seeing anyone else, because I really am wanting to pursue this. And she was like, I'm on the same page. And so it was just really neat to
That was
be
even
on.
before the sun went down on the first day.
Yeah, it was before the sun went down on the first day. And
I love that, especially because when you come off shows like that, I feel like you really are prepared to just like kind of have all your walls down and just say what you're thinking and feeling and be like, I'm all in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we were definitely being very vulnerable and like real, and it could have gone very differently.
Well, because you're also thinking, like, if I'm really liking someone, inviting them into my life, I have a daughter, and you're thinking, this is like, I'm not going to like mess around with this when there's a daughter involved. And then what was it like meeting Blakely?
Oh, so he didn't meet her on that trip because it was so short.
Okay.
But
so you knew you're in love that day.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. We didn't say that though.
Yeah,
when
we
did
didn't.
we say? So then we're definitely not going fast forward through it. So let's speed it up. We did the trip. It's amazing, incredible. We're exclusive then.
Come back home. I go on a boating trip, almost die on that boating trip.
I remember that.
This was like super serious.
Oh yeah,
like,
I remember.
Actually,
we're not like.
We're trying to fast forward, but
yeah, it wasn't like the boat
was
thing.
serious.
It was like really, really bad.
It was for me, like, I'm 25 years old.
Yeah.
Life doesn't seem short, but in reality, life is short. Like, life's here 1 second and it's gone the next. And so for me, in that moment, it just put things into perspective. And I knew that I loved her, and I wasn't going to follow these timelines that I thought we had to follow anymore. I wasn't going to hold things in that I like leave anything left unsaid. And so I got off the boat, or I got on land. I got off the boat like way ahead, but I got on land, and I just called her, and I was like, hey, I know that this is fast, but I had these feelings from the first moment I met you, and I just love you, and I don't want
me from the outside of T-Mobile on this like random phone, like, hey, all this just happened, and this is that, and
none of that matters though. I don't want to talk about any of that.
But
I want to talk about
I'm
the
just
fact
sitting there
that
like,
I love you, and
what?
And she's like,
I'm like, Blakely, no cookies. What?
Yeah. You're like, what would Marshall do?
Eminem, could he handle this? Of course,
yeah,
he could.
Okay,
Let's go.
And so so it was
like
just
at one moment, one opportunity.
This is it.
And I was nervous, but I wasn't nervous because life just almost ended for me.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I was just like, I'm letting it all out there.
Yeah.
And without any hesitation, she just responded. She's like, I love you too. And it was like heavens opened up. You know, the cherub started singing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, but yeah.
You were levitating.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so that weekend she ended up coming out to see me, introduced her to my family.
And I was like, I'm not taking no for an answer. Like because his uncle and his dad were also on the boat. So it was a big family, like
almost
emotional
took out all the men
thing.
in our family.
That's so scary. What happened?
We still don't really know.
Really?
So what we think is that we think that there was like something catastrophic that happened to the hull. And so because we were out there for 3 hours, and nothing was wrong, boat wasn't taking on any water. And all of a sudden, like Aaron goes to lift up the offboard engine
off of Paradise.
And as soon as he steps on the swim deck, the boat just sinks. And normally with those boats, you can lift the offboard engine because you don't want to swim. You don't want to go through kelp. You don't want to, go through and do all that stuff. And so all of a sudden it just starts sinking. And within 45 seconds, we're stuck in 17 miles offshore in the Pacific Ocean with life vest and an ice chest.
Which they had stopped there because of all the activity, like on the fish like meter thing. Yeah. And so they're I was about to say hunting tuna. They're fishing for 400-pound tuna. And like there's all this activity down there. And he also got wrapped in the fishing line and his dad had to cut him out because he was getting pulled under.
That is traumatic.
And
and like people panic in the water too.
Oh, I would have been, I feel like I would have been really panicking.
I mean, I panicked for a moment because the fishing line was wrapped around me and it started pulling me down. And my dad, he had like a knife like that was on his life vest because he was the only one actually wearing the life vest the whole time. Yeah, I do. I have a cut, like a scar on my arm from it, but he actually cut me free, and like there was like I was bleeding in the water
in the active shark waters.
Oh, good.
And so it was great. We were protected, and by the grace of God, like someone ended like that fishing boat ended up being out there and found us. And so I mean, the whole thing was a miracle. And then like after that, I was just testing. I was testing the miracles then, and I was like, hey, let's see if I can have another miracle. God, what you got for me up there, big man?
Yeah.
And
got a boyfriend that day.
Yeah, and so. So 9/18, it's an anniversary of not only life but a future too. So it's cool.
Oh, crazy! Definitely put things in perspective. So then I go there that trip, and then we see each other a few different times. And then October 19th is my birthday, but that's when we flew out for my birthday with Blakely, and that's when they finally met in person. Like we had FaceTimed and stuff, but I mean I wasn't nervous about it or anything like that. At this point, like he's the first boyfriend that I've had since I was 17, like an actual like boyfriend. And so me saying like yes to that and being that serious, like it's obviously they're gonna meet each other. Right. So I wasn't nervous at that point about that at all.
Were you nervous?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal coming into a little girl's life and being potentially a future father figure for them. And so I mean, you want to be friends with them, but you also want that respect level. Yeah. And it's like you can't be too friendly. And
it's hard balance.
And it was a hard balance too, because it's like, what's my role really?
Yeah.
Braydad.
Yeah, Braydad. But it's just been navigating it as I've been going. And I mean, she's an amazing little girl. She's so smart, so funny. And so it's been really cool, like getting to know her and stuff. And yeah, I was definitely nervous going into that weekend.
How do you navigate that conversation of what your role is going to be?
Well, she's grounded right now.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's okay though. She's
bad cop, good cop.
No, very on a team.
Okay,
that's the whole thing. We're not doing the whole.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hate the thought of that because and I feel like the mom
even
always
her
has to be labeled the bad cop.
But even for the child, I feel like, and I mean I'm not an expert, but in my experience, it's not fair for the child to have the power to be able to try and manipulate that way or try to figure out it.
It was so cute.
Right.
Okay, so it was cute because she did get grounded, and then she tried playing a little bit. She's like, "Oh, my mom's been go-karting because we went to go go-karting.
This is a new.
How old is she?
This made me mad. 7.
So we went go-karting.
This is new.
It's like K1 racing. It's like an indoor go-karting.
We can also do that. That's after we go shooting.
Yeah. We just have a full day planned.
I'm moving in.
Activity. Yes. We'll adopt you.
So
we need to know.
So we did this go-kart racing at K1 Racing, and Christina had never been there before to that specific place, and she's like, "Oh, this is my first time
indoor.
being here."
It's like you have to wear a helmet. It's like fast. I've done go-karting like whatever, but not this.
And so she had told me, she's like, "Oh, it's my first time," and so like this was weeks ago. And so the other day we're in the grocery store. Blakely just got grounded like the other night. And Blakely goes, she's like, "Hey, I just need to tell you something." And I felt like it was funny because I felt like I was on The Bachelor again. She's like, "Hey, I need to pull you."
Wait, this is yesterday too. Like we picked her up from.
This was yesterday.
From school, and I was at work.
This is live. So we're sitting there, and she's like, "I need to tell you something." She's like, "You know how my mom said that she's never been go-karting before? She actually lied. She's been." And I was like, I looked at her, I was like, "Well, I know she's been."
And she meant like with her dad, and she would have been like, maybe she saw pictures or something. I don't know. She would have been 2 or 3.
But
I'm just like, and I mean,
you're like, "Hey, what? I thought we were on a team."
Yeah, and it's not like I took her to the side and be like, "Don't tell him."
Yeah.
No, not at all. Like, what was that dynamic? We're gonna shut that down.
But I was laughing so hard, though. And so I called Christina
She's
and
smart.
I told her,
not smart.
I called her and told her, I was like, "Yeah, hey, Blakely's mad at you." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "She told me you lied to me. She's like, what'd I lie about? And I was like, the go-karting. You've been with someone else before? And then we had to talk about that, and it was it was a big deal. I was really hurt.
We almost broke up.
Yeah. We went to counseling for it.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys want to still talk about
wondering
it?
why I gathered you here today.
But
it's about go-karting.
Yeah. So I mean, having her in the picture has been an amazing dynamic.
Yeah.
It's definitely had its tough times, but a kid brings so much light to stuff though too.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see the world through a kid's eyes, it adds a new dynamic, and it makes you have such a new appreciation for things that you just start taking for granted.
Well, and probably hold their respect for each other because you want to set such a good example that you put your best foot forward in communication or in your relationship because you're we want to give her such a good example.
Right. Yeah. If we have something that's might, be not we never want to, we do argue, but the other day, whenever we sidelined or whatever, I was like, I don't want this to be taken in, I don't even know what it was about, but we sidelined to have that discussion that could have gone either way. And, but then still also being real in front of her and everything's open for discussion. He's teaching me now that I don't have to explain everything because I do explain everything. If she asks, I'm like, well, I don't want her to just think it's, there's no reason. There is reason behind it. But he's like, sometimes you can just say, because I said so. I'm like, wait, I think everything's balance, everything in balance. And you're going to mess up the kids no matter what. But just the least that you can do it. I think the most important thing is creating an environment for her to feel safe to be a child in. And that's where I go back to saying it's not fair for her to have the power to be oh, well, let me go to this parent or this person and try to figure out the best way. Because a human's natural reaction is going to try to get out of a situation that they don't feel comfortable in.
Right.
And so if she's feeling like she's in trouble, and there's a way, she's smart. Yeah. It's not saying that she's being bad, manipulative.
It's kind of scary how smart she is.
Well, at this, I'm we need to catch it now before she's smarter than us. But I think that it's not fair for a kid to have to be trying to do that and figure out what everyone else wants because then she'll never learn what she wants and learn herself. So it's hard, and it's definitely not a perfect or easy thing. But
it's
I think
so hot
that if
when
I
she
would have,
moms.
yeah,
I had to say, I was
I get that.
I mean, it is. It's I find it so attractive. Just the other night, just the way she was patient with her, talking with her, and handling her emotions, and also making sure that she was just letting her know, hey, these are the rules and these are what you have to follow. I was just wow.
Off the Vine is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Now, whether you love true crime or comedies, celebrity interviews, news, or even motivational speakers, we all know that you call the shots in what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call the shots on your auto insurance too. Enter the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. The Name Your Price tool puts you in charge of your auto insurance by working just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you a variety of coverages that fit within your budget, giving you options. We love options. And that's something you're going to want to press play on. Now, it's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to choose the best option for you fast. And it's just one of the many ways that you can save with Progressive Insurance. So quote today at Progressive.com to try the Name Your Price tool for yourself and join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Okay, everybody, it's time to focus on what makes you happy. And you want to know what that is for me? I feel like you already know, but it's comfort. I love comfort. Bras can be so uncomfortable and restricting, but Skims has completely changed that. And you already know I love me some Skims. They're underwear and now they're bras too. Had to try them out. Actually wearing one right now. Wore it to the gym earlier today too. I should probably wash it. The Fits Everybody t-shirt bra from Skims is the best t-shirt bra I have ever owned. And it has adjustable straps and the material is just so comfortable. Once you try them, you feel like you're wearing nothing at all. Okay, Skims is truly creating the next generation of underwear and bras for every type of body. So believe the hype. Shop Skims bras at skims.com. Now available in 62 sizes from 30A to 46H. Plus get free shipping on orders over $75. And if you haven't yet, be sure to let them know we sent you, please. After you place your order, just select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
I mean, it really sounds like you two have healthy communication. You're going to therapy. People that know you have all been like, this makes so much sense. You two make so much sense together. And I'm a big energy gal. I take energy. Mm-hmm. I felt that. It just feels like you two are on the right path for what you need to do and to come together as a family. And it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's been, I absolutely also believe in the energy thing. And I think that's why like we knew it was going to be so serious him coming here in the first place to even meet, because through the phone you can still, you know, the energy still goes through the phone waves too, and it's crazy. But honestly though, like me watching him on charity season, like I felt that there was a few different things that I would like. That's why I even like reached out. I mean, obviously hot stuff over there, but I'm like, that's crazy, that's weird. And I kept referring back to like the things that he had said on there, because I'm like, you're too perfect, you're just mirroring me, you're just so smart, and you're just being like my dream man right now, because there's no way. And then I remember, I'm like, no, like that's the evidence. He didn't even know I was a person yet. No, the energy thing, very we have to keep going back to that, like when things, because things, we had a few days the other week that we were just like not arguing, but just like little bicker, just you're on
normal human relationship stuff.
And he's been working night shifts, and like it's just back and forth. It definitely wasn't like we were like despising or second guessing or anything like that. But it's just tough. Like I think I really respect how you were like, it's really important that we are going to prioritize and do a date night or date something every week, and that's been a game changer.
Because it's like the biggest thing is, especially with a kiddo, like what I was learning is that I was coming in and I was giving Blakely all this love, all this attention, and a lot of times when you start doing that and you start cohabitating, you start spending so much time with each other that you forget to have those special moments that's set aside for actual time together. Because it's like,
so true.
You know, we do the dishes together, we clean the house together, we're going through our business together, like making an account together. We're like, oh, we're spending so much time together, but you forget to spend that quality time that's actually devoted to appreciating that person and being like, I cherish you, you know?
You know that it usually takes like marriages 20 years to get there. Well, you guys have already figured that
and
out.
We haven't even started therapy yet, but it's just like, I really think it's like the energy thing. It's like really from the beginning being so vulnerable and honest and like open with what we're needing, and that we don't even know what we're needing. And then like, instead of just like, how you said, like before in relationships, and I'm guilty of this in all of my relationships of like just with humans and like parents and friends and everything, just so much internally considering them and thinking like I know them, I know what they would want, so I'm gonna do all this, and really putting myself last. But no one knew I was doing that, and I was like, well, I don't need to tell them, I don't need a pat on the back, that's not why I'm doing it. But really it's like that's not actually for them. That's like you're being uncomfortable with talking and asking them what they want. So I think like just really talking about things is just absolutely what needs to happen. Ooh, tell her about the love language thing, because this is before we had met in person. He had said we had a big talk. It was like, this is
because you know how there's like the 5 love languages.
Yeah, of course I do.
When you had said this was like the first moment that I was like,
6
oh
now,
my
by the
gosh,
way.
he's
What's the
deep.
6th?
Ooh, snap. Well, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Did they steal mine?
They better not. I leaked.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
Be so hurt.
So
okay, tell me.
Okay, so we
don't
were having
tell
this,
us first.
Yeah, don't
okay?
tell us first. But so I feel like there's one love language that kind of encompasses them all, and it's consideration. It's like, I mean, when you think about acts of service, when you think about quality time, when you think about gift giving, all those things, in reality, all it is considering that person, whether like quality time is considering them when they're there. Acts of service is considering what they need done and how you can like, you know, do things for them. Gift giving, they're not there, but you're going and doing something, and you see something and you consider them while you're going and doing something. And it's like, oh, this reminded me of you today, and I wanted to give it to you because I thought of you. And
I think even deeper than that though, like, which is so cool, is like considering that person like everything's a circumstance. Everything different, everything is circumstantial. So like, maybe this person wants me to surprise them with this, or they would want me to talk to them and they would want to be in on this, and they, you know, just really considering for each circumstance is like dope, because sometimes it is going to be you know, an act of service, or it's going to be, okay, no, I wanted to do that act with them and have quality time doing it. Like, it didn't mean as much that I went and, you know, painted the wall, because really they envisioned like doing it together. And it's like, but I was doing an act of service for you. Like, I think
that's where so much frustration comes in relationships though, because you're like, I'm giving you this love, like I'm doing this, like, and that was what we experienced. Like when I first got out here with Blake, I was like, and I told her, I was like, I'm giving you this love. Like I'm doing all this stuff. I'm you know, doing homework with Blakely. I'm cleaning the dishes. Like,
and I'm
trying
sitting there
to
like,
take this load off you.
Complain about that. Like, who am I? He's being amazing. He's being perfect.
But the issue is I wasn't asking her what kind of love language she needed at that time. I wasn't like, and so although I was being considerate, I was internalizing it, and I was doing all those things for me. Yeah. And so to ask her to have appreciation for that, you can't really do that. You know,
well, it's appreciated, but even like that wasn't like, I wasn't considering it as like me, because then there's like, it's just so many levels.
No, it's like when a dog sits and he wants a cookie. Like you wanted the cookie, you wanted to be like, but look what I'm doing for you. When really there's so much. Yeah. And so how did you get through that? Did you just ask questions? Like, what do you need?
Well, that took me like really like feeling safe with him to say anything and everything, which is just like, that's got to be your rock. That's got to be your foundation. Because me sitting here, I'm one of my biggest fears, or like just from being like the youngest in the family, and I don't want to be annoying. I feel like I'm just being annoying about everything. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to like nag or like whatever. And I'm sitting here seeing this man who I love being amazing with my child and like taking all this on, and just like, wow. But I'm like, but really, like, could we do something like, you know, could we have like a talk, like just us? Like, I know that now, you know, now you want to do some, you know, whatever it was. I'm just like, well, thank you for all that, but also I need more. And that was hard. That's hard to say.
Yeah, because I'm with you. I don't like feeling needy.
No.
And I don't ever want to come across as that. But then it builds up. And
I'm like, I hear myself right now. Yeah, I'm like, I respect us and our relationship so much that I have to just sound awful right now. There's been different times too where I'm like, I hear myself and I don't even agree, and I hate what I'm saying. I'm on your side on this one, but listen, this is what's happening. I can't control it. My mind and my body are disagreeing, but here it is. Let's team up on me.
I needed to hear that, because again, I would have just kept I would have just kept doing it over.
The cup thing you said was great. We have so many analogies. We're really just filling each other's cup.
Filling up each other's cup.
But filling it differently. You fill up the cups, but it's like you got to ask each other, and not just like assume what cups they want their stuff in. Where do you want? What do you want?
Was that Shakespeare?
Filleth thy cup. This
no,
one.
but I get
no, not that one.
I get what you're saying, and
I see you pee.
I actually did an Instagram story today where I was like, I'm just like, yesterday I was like, I hate everything, blah. And today I was like, highest vibration, I'm living on it. And then I just said out loud, I was like, why am I different every day?
That's okay.
But that's the thing, people change every day. And we're, I mean, my dad always told me growing up, he's like, we're a kaleidoscope. Like you look into it and it's like, you can focus on the different images in each one, but it's like, there's so many different, we're so multifaceted.
Don't put yourself in a box.
To put yourself in a box or say that you're this one type of person, like, oh, like he's always happy, or she's always, you know, no, like.
That's so true. That must have been really frustrating though, to be on a show where they put you in a box and they literally make you one dimensional.
But I could that's what I could like see through it though. So, like even just watching him on there, and even with the earrings and the style, I could see it. Cause it's like, I told him one time, I was like, I've never really like told you this, cause I'm really bad at talking about my feelings, but like, I love your style. And he's like, well, I don't really know like what there's not like one word to say like my style is. I'm like, oh, I know. That's what I love. It's like if you're vibing, if you're in a store, like you said, you're like in coffee shops seeing earrings and you're like, that's a vibe. And that's been like how I do too. So it's not like, okay, today I want to look like girly, and it's like a whole thing. It's not like it's not like you're like trying to be different people. It's just like I was really like vibing with this and the energy, and like this is what I'm doing right now, and it's fine.
I do think that's fine to be something different every day. I think that's why I get so frustrated on the internet, because I'm like, you don't know me. I'm so much more than what you think I am. But tell me how it was watching Paradise together.
We had never talked ever at all. And so like anything I'm seeing, even though we're together right now, like
was before
you didn't know me. I didn't know you.
That's true.
I think it was harder on me though in that regard.
He did have a hard time
because like for me it felt as though like I was cheating, even though I wasn't cheating, but it's like it made me.
It didn't feel right.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I'm sitting here like with this girl I love, and she's having to watch me make out with other people on TV, and it's like, I mean, to put in perspective what like the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, like what you probably had to go through, it's like
terrible.
I mean, the amount of guilt that you end up feeling through that.
I was like, I had so much shame for so long.
I mean, it's
and
just,
I talked to Katie too, and she kind of given me some advice. I'm like, should I watch? Should I not? She's like, you gotta watch.
Yeah.
And
like, okay.
Honestly, I was so grateful. Like she gave me so much grace through that whole thing, because she understood that I was sensitive towards that. Because like, you know, I have my identity and like my morals and who I ground myself on, and it was being shaken because I was like, okay, like, you know, I'm this bad guy. Like I was making out with all these people, and she's having to see me, and it's it was rough. But
Lord knows what I was doing on the outside. Well, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hers just wasn't aired on national.
That's true.
What were you doing? Let's talk. What
were you? I'm not kidding.
Who was he?
Eminem.
People have speculation. People have opinions. They're saying you're pregnant. There's AI shit going.
So that was so people
That was
have been
her actually.
saying,
She did the AI of herself.
So that was so the reason. So here, let me back up here.
Oh my gosh,
this
let's
is
go with
good.
AI.
This is good
Oh.
to talk about
Okay, tell
because
me.
so for months now, for months and months and months,
She downloaded this
people
app.
have been. Well, hold on. So
Sorry.
back up. For months and months and months, people have been saying like that I'm pregnant. And it's
why? Because
because the holidays and
Oh.
food. And no, and that's what people are saying. And so it's like, and so I have a home gym and I love to do CrossFit and stuff, but like when it gets cold outside, it's not as fun for me to just be like in working out all the time.
not
I'm
need to
traveling
make
and then
any
we're dating
excuses
and
for
it's
your
like,
body.
exactly. So I'm very really just fine.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm feeling healthy and stuff, but yeah, I'm not sitting here saying I was the same weight or I don't even know what weight, but like, cause
I
strong,
thought people were
but it was
saying
like,
you were pregnant
well,
because you guys got engaged so fast.
well, that was also so there were so many different things, and then like on other sites and like clickbait things or it's one thing, but then it's like all of my comments on my socials were like, oh, I see the bump and like all these things, and then people defending those people like just because someone's enjoying the holidays and having a great time and like enjoying food and whatnot, like you don't need to say that she's pregnant. And then other people, it was just people were defending me in ways that were like, wait, hold on.
You're like adding
Hold on
to
a
it.
second. And so then it became a whole thing of like, well, it can't be Brayden's because they,
geez
she's so
Louise.
far along. And like, I hadn't addressed it because you know how I know that you have experienced
lose-lose.
like
It is a
different.
lose-lose.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm not even going to
So she
address
decided
it
to
or
troll him
whatnot.
instead.
But
love
whenever, so from the Golden Bachelor, where he making that big drive, and I had like a few different little surprises at the house, like this big earring revolving electric display and whatnot. And then me and my sister had done AI to the entire, like on my staircase, I have all these pictures, but we had replaced most of them with like us getting engaged, which I didn't know we were going to be engaged, but us getting engaged, a few of our wedding photos, us with a baby, me pregnant, us pushing a stroller, but if you look closely, the baby's head is just an earring display, and like all of these really super creepy, like
You are creepily
goofy
creative.
things.
Win-win,
Yeah, but like any of my friends that knew I was doing that, they were like, if I did that to a guy, they would like.
And she has an
hate
AI
that.
of
But
two.
I'm
So
like-
there's the one I was like, who is this? There were these two guys. And they're like in bikinis on the beach, and I'm like, "Who are
it's
these
me and
dudes?"
my best friend.
And she's like, "Oh, that's me and Cece." And I'm like,
We
"What?"
switched to the guy, like the app where you like switch. That's been on there for years, to
Oh.
be fair.
But I saw it. I was like,
get
"Why
some
do you have
new
two
art in my
random
home.
dudes just on
like
your wall?"
in the bikini bottoms, just like really posed. I can't believe you wouldn't recognize me as a dude, honey. But
Oh,
yeah,
she turned me into a slutty elf for Christmas. Like we'll show you all those AIs. There's like 30 of them.
Post
There's
these.
so I'm really bad at posts. There's so
Just-
much content we need to get together. But I did this whole entire wall, and then so it was like the premiere, and we've been going on live to watch. First of all, we love Joey, but
wedding.
so
He's
we've been
amazing.
watching, and we've been doing like lives when we can on the Bachelor Mondays. And right before we went on, because I was like, I need to post something so people like know, like, or like, are seeing that we're going live or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I remember this time last year. And it was the photo that I already had on there. And people then were like, most people were just like
it was with the
hilariously
baby
laughing.
bump.
And
Right.
it was with the
Right.
baby bump. It was like edited out, like not my dress. And I did feel like maybe I should have thought of this or something, but people did get upset of like, is this an announcement? And don't be like,
Right.
like you should
Yeah.
be more considerate than
Right.
that. But like, because I think about that often. I mean, I would never like just like falsely or make jokes like that or anything.
Right.
So I was like kind of disappointed that I didn't think of that. But then I'm also like, okay, well, I'm also a huge advocate for talking about that kind of things. And I miscarried twins before Blakely,
Right.
and then like I almost actually died having Blakely, and she
Wow.
was very premature. And like, and I get all of the heartache and like so much that goes on with all of
Right.
that. So I did not mean to be like that with them,
course.
but that was just kind of probably personally, like months and months of buildup of being like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, everyone. But I wasn't trying to make an announcement. It was just like, I've
Right.
seen so many articles about she's really showing today, even in the engagement. Like people like when I hunched over and he hadn't even put the ring on me yet, and someone came up with like champagne.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, put it on me. And so like they're like, see, she even denied the champagne. And I'm just like, you
It was
guys,
wild. I
like
mean,
there
it's
was
been-
so much. So I'm not pregnant. Do you remember over though right after the proposal happened?
Yeah,
I ran over to Kaitlyn, and I'm surprised I didn't wink at you as I was getting proposed to. But I'm like, yeah, yes to him, but what are you doing later? And so no, I run over and I'm just like, Kaitlyn, Bristowe, do you want to be my maid of honor? And you're like, you heard it here first. I'm just like, this is amazing.
I was so worried because the champagne, you guys were like about to knock it over, and you could see like me in the background, like, and then I didn't want
You
people.
were like the best background shots that whole
The
wedding.
meatball was incredible.
It's so funny because people were like, you were trying so hard to get in the camera. I'm like, I actually avoided the camera at all
I
costs.
remember
It was
that.
it was hard to find the camera.
It was so funny because I remember
Yes.
standing there with you and you're like, I don't want to be in this shot. I don't want to, and like, you're like trying to hide behind me. And then like looking back, you end up in all these shots hiding behind me.
So we hadn't watched it yet. We're making the drive back, and it was before he started not feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got sick
And
from
we
that
just keep
wedding.
seeing
I
memes,
don't
and
know
I'm
who
like,
brought
oh
that
my
sickness.
gosh, the
They were-
meatballs.
Gosh.
That was like bioterrorism, whatever they brought to that wedding. I thought I
I
was
know
gonna
so many
die.
people got sick. We were talking over the phone about, and you were
'cause
having the same
you
thing
were
that I was
passed out
having.
the seat. I'm like, how are you? He's doing this. Are
Yeah.
you alive? Because what's
you were
coming?
Like, he threw up. I was like, no.
Yeah, you're like, no,
Is
no,
that
no,
what's
no.
coming for me?
And he
We all got
fainted.
sick.
Also,
Joey got sick too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I know Zach and Katie did.
Yeah.
Everyone. I mean, there were
That
a
was
lot
the
of people.
worst. And I mean, I've like, it's gone now,
Shout
but
out
I
to
like
my
a
immune
residual.
system.
Yeah. I have this residual cough that occasionally comes
Yeah,
in.
same.
Like,
Same.
and it's just like, I'm like, when is this going to end?
I know. That was crazy. That whole wedding, it was so worth it though. I'll get sick again. for
I
that.
agree.
had
I
the
didn't have
best
to deal
time.
with the sickness, but I did. I also had to make that drive.
How did you feel about people were just very, I think you knew in proposing at a wedding, you knew people were going to be like, whatever, but
Yeah.
you talked to Gary.
I mean, I
Well,
talked
him
to
and Gary
Gary.
have been
It's a
friends.
bachelor wedding, guys.
He was one of the first people that knew that we were together.
I mean,
too. Like they
cute.
text
Yeah.
and they call and
Oh,
all.
cute.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, is it's like, I mean, knowing that I wanted to get married, or it's like, honestly, for me and like our story is it was such a big role
Yeah.
that was played in our lives. Like Bachelor, like we met because we were both on the show. I
Right.
mean, in reality, we would have never met if it wasn't for being on the show.
I loved that moment.
Like
I loved it.
it was, thank you.
I'm glad you were there to share.
Honestly,
it.
yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
yes,
Gerry
I
and
will be your
Theresa
maid of honor.
they both gave me the heads up. Like they're like, yeah, go for it. And I mean, like his daughters were all stoked for me. So I mean, as long as I didn't offend
And
them,
you've
I mean,
Exactly.
messaged with
the rest of the
them?
world can be offended.
Totally.
And that's my thing is
The
like
daughters
everyone,
too. You've been friends with like
Yeah.
like way before too. And then did you see like their Christmas? They did all like earrings. They
dang
like
earrings.
he's been friends with
Yeah.
all of them. Like the proposal was not why we were invited to the wedding. Like we
No.
had.
I mean, I feel like people are so quick to get offended for other people. You know what I mean?
Of
It's
course.
like at the end of the
And you're
day,
like,
it was
they
about
weren't
Gerry
yeah.
and Theresa
Yeah.
and their family, and they weren't offended by
I
it.
loved it.
And
I
so-
would not get offended if somebody got engaged at my wedding. I'd be like, what a day for love.
Right,
Like I
yeah.
really wouldn't.
But,
It's
I
just
mean-
And I
people-
understand people not loving it as well, but like for at their own personal wedding. Although my dad texted us the other day.
He said he's
like,
gonna
when's
get-
the wedding date? Because or he's like hashtag I'm gonna propose at your wedding ha, 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 to his girlfriend. I'm like, go for it. That might be a good thing for us. Do that, Dash.
do that.
I have two very important questions before I let you go.
Okay.
One is, do you share earrings?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would. And two is, do you have a wedding date?
So we haven't.
You don't
said,
have to tell me.
Yeah, no.
Oh
so we
no,
haven't.
we would.
We haven't set a date
You
yet.
have so many duties to do. Come on.
Yeah, I do.
We're thinking that we want to do like winter, spring next year.
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to decide whether we want to do like a big wedding or if we want to do something like small, but like
Yeah.
a location, like a cool location.
Yes, I
Like,
feel
have
that.
like friends and family fly out. So
So no, there's literally so many
it's
options.
not a date, but
Yeah.
we know it's going to be probably early next year.
Would you televise it?
I mean, I really just like, I want to make sure that my family's there and that her
course.
family's there. Like, you want your community to be there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the
Yes.
people that you do everyday life with, like,
Yeah.
those are the biggest people that I really want there. And
Yes.
so,
Blakely, who
Blakely,
wants a
yeah.
miniature version of my dress, and she wants to walk out after me, which is not happening.
she also wants Here Comes the
Obsessed.
Bride played for her as she was.
I think we have to definitely just do like an instrumental Tenacious D song. Surely Jack Black has. I'm just gonna wait and see when Jack Black has an opening schedule,
Yes.
or Eminem or Paul McCartney.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna help plan.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That would help
Look,
so much.
Yeah, and then I'll wrap at the wedding. And then okay, we have so many plans.
We are wedding planning. Tune in next time when we're wedding planning.
We'll do a whole podcast just planning. It'll be so boring. We'll be sitting there being like, so do you like this color?
No, hate it.
I hate it.
I'm done picking out
I
colors.
spit
I
on
tried
that.
to pick out her nail polish the other day, and it was just like, she hated it. She's like, I don't
Like,
want to
when
dress
we-
in
That
Christmas
was
colors.
last night. I'm like, oh, really? That color? Okay.
I'm like, she's like, I appreciate your style.
I
I'm
wanted
like,
to consider you, but not when it was the
I
wrong
really
answer.
like your guys' relationship. I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fun. It's goofy. It's quirky. It's
not
real.
perfect.
And
it's real.
It's imperfect. No, it's perfectly imperfect. Is that
I like it.
imperfect?
We say
Imperfectly perfect.
unapologetically
Perfectly perfect. Oh yeah.
us.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I love you guys.
We love
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Any other raps before I cut? Any other
Oh, raps?
Well,
You want to give
that
them a
is
beat?
a rap.
Give them a beat?
YouTube
Yeah.
free beat.
You can just
Give them 3 words. No, give them 3 words, dude.
stop it.
Nope.
Right now.
Nope.
I could give you
mean,
3
three
words.
Hopefully, if
words,
the
think
beat's
of-
good, we'll have to find a good beat.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 words, and those 3 words are podcast,
Okay.
Nice.
wine,
Okay.
and love. It might speed up.
Yeah, I had a blast. I'm on the podcast. I'm going real fast. I'm bringing my gun. Yeah, I going out blast. How do you do? Coming in, yo, I like a fool. Everybody say I'm just a tool, but I'm just playing it real cool. Dang, yeah, you know I feel fine. Sitting at home, drinking my wine. How you gonna do this time? I just sit in the seat and then I go rhyme. How you go do that thing? I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, look at her ring. Oh my goodness, yeah, where you from? Oh yeah, best believe, yeah, that's all love. I said, that's 3 words. The end of the verse.
Isn't that crazy?
I did that all. I'm proud of myself. I did not even curse.
Holy shit!
Isn't that insane?
That was a little rough, but
It's
yeah.
like,
That was a little
yeah,
rough.
no, that's not even.
That was a little rough,
yeah.
but yeah.
What?
I was like, I stuttered a little bit.
I
but
feel
yeah.
like we should say
I
really
had
quick.
goosebumps over a freestyle
It's
rap
crazy.
about a
I feel like you
podcast.
should also say, since you did all that, like, so he's nursing here now, and the job that he got is at like a prison, like a death row inmate.
Oh yeah, I'm
prison
working at like a
thing.
maximum.
But wait,
security
but
prison.
so you need to know this, because did you know we have a whole fan base there of Bachelor?
Yeah, so prisoners.
Did I come do a podcast?
Probably.
Honestly, actually, I don't know if they'll let you, but that would actually be wild. 'Cause
There's a few of the people actually
these
are on
guys-
Netflix things, so surely
yeah,
maybe.
these guys know the show. I
No,
I
no,
came
no,
into
no.
the unit and I mean I didn't have my earring because you can't wear your earrings at the
Yeah.
jail. Like, so I
Shame.
come in like, and I'm not even wearing a name tag because like I really don't want these guys to know my name because it's like I mean they still have ties. Like these guys are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're criminal. They're like
Yeah, and they have connections in the outside world.
yes.
No, this is not
And
like
so,
a jail. This is prison.
this is prison, like maximum security. These guys,
Holy
serial
shit.
killers, like murderers.
And
like,
they're Bachelor fans?
yeah, some of them aren't that bad, but yeah, they
The
came in and they're like,
biggest.
"Holy shit, that's the dude off The Bachelor." They're like, "Dude, they're like, you are paradise." They're
way.
like, "Bro, you look like a bitch when you cried." And I'm like, I'm
like knew them immediately and remembered everything, but then
yeah,
but
they're
then
like, "Why didn't you fight those guys when they pressed you in the van?" I'm like, "Well, you can't, man." And they're like, "You tucked your tails and ran." They're like, "You should have effed them
So
up,
like
man." I'm
referencing
like,
Paradise,
dude.
his season, but then even says, "But nah, that's okay." 'cause
oh yeah, they're like, "Yeah, you cried like a bee, but it's all good because you got a fine girl now." And they're like, "Please tell me you getting in that every night." And I'm like, I can't disclose this, guys.
I'm like, you just say what you gotta say, babe.
I'm
Just
at
say
work.
what
Like, I'm sorry, I'm
like, I do get in that every night, but
we make
I
love.
we make love,
Yeah.
and
And they're like, wait, you
consensually.
rap. You rap.
Stop.
Oh yeah,
And
they
so
tried to
then-
get me to freestyle. It was wild.
I think that's where we end in this
And
year.
you know what?
And
Thank you for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll see you next time.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.